Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Told and Untold Stories. Now we have enjoyed 4 amazing episodes of this series, and guys, I'm excited to tell you that it's not over yet. It just keeps getting juicier with a lot more stories and a lot more lessons in store for us. So keep those stories coming in. If you're still unsure about the type of stories to send in, or if your story is juicy enough or filled with enough lessons for us to share, just do the simple thing and forward your stories, and we'll take it up from there. Okay? Now don't forget to enjoy this video with someone else. Like, if you're watching this alone right now, just look for the next person beside you and drag them to enjoy this video. Now let's get straight to today's episode. I'm a singer and a chorister in the church I worship. Before, I used to be the most used in the choir because of how talented I am. I will always be picked to lead almost every Sunday, and that felt good. But as time went by, I began to find it worrisome. Are there no other people? My dad and I will always say. I started getting tired of having to hold the microphone every Sunday and began to slack when it came to choir activities. My commitment towards the choir and church drastically reduced, and today I look back and sigh in deep regret because that was the worst mistake I ever made. Soon enough, new members started to join the choir and they were doing very well. The choir was livelier than I've ever known and everybody was happy. I resumed fully, but things were not the same. I was barely used like before, and it felt like I was a new member because I wasn't as free as I used to be. Then I realized that when God is using you, you should be grateful, and complaints should never set in because it's a privilege. I also realized that indeed God will always raise people to worship Him when you begin to feel He's stressing you too much. So true. Now, this is a very short story, but it just feels like it carries a lot in it. As short as it is, it just carries a whole lot in it. Sometimes I guess it's easy for us to forget that whatever it is that we have was never really our doing. You get? It's just easy for us to get used to our talents, our gifts, and the things that we're able to do, that we forget that it's a privilege, that it's something that was given to us by God, and it's not like our doing that just got it. And it's easy in that very case to just begin to feel, okay, I can do what I want to do with what I have, like I can do it when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and all of that. We forget that this life is really not ours. So also are the gifts and the talents and the abilities that we've been able to develop over time. Now, I like the lessons that she pointed out. The fact that we must never forget that whatever it is that is placed in our hands, it's a privilege, especially when you get to use it to serve God. You know, we're supposed to use everything that we have to serve God. So, I think one thing I saw, or one thing I was able to pick up from this story, is the fact that, okay, she did realize that she had this talent and she used it. Like, it started out really well. She used this talent that she had and it was going on fine up until the enemy started dropping thoughts and words to her. Now, I'm almost certain this is not the first of this case that you're hearing. You must have experienced, seen, or heard of a very similar case where you just feel tired, you just feel overused, if we'll use that word. You just feel it goes both ways. You can begin to feel, oh, it's me. If it's not me, nobody else can do it. That's a different type of ego. And then you begin to feel, you can also feel, well, why am I the only one they are using? Am I the only one? They should use someone else now. Now, it's easy for this type of feelings to come up, especially when you're not being extremely intentional and very careful about your thoughts. One thing I tried to understand with her is that legit, she was using her talent, and as humans that we are, we know that this is a privilege. But over time, she actually felt tired. I'm trying to be honest here. I'm trying to really give my opinion about this very story she shared. I I don't think it's unfair for her to say she felt tired over time. I know it's an honor, it's a privilege for us to get whatever gift to serve God, but I think I can understand with her over time that she felt she was the only one being used. It is an honor, but I think I can understand that she felt like constantly being the one up there and just in front doing the whole thing. I don't think her feelings were invalid. I think she should have just been careful with what she did with those feelings, you get? So it's okay that she got tired or she felt tired at some point. Okay, what should she have done in that case? I think she should have spoken to maybe the choir master, maybe someone she looks up to, a mentor, and just be like, okay, I've noticed that I'm literally always up in front. I get it's a gift, it's an honor. I really appreciate being given this opportunity, but I just feel I'm always out there. I don't know, can you just try to maybe use someone more often? Honestly, I don't want it to get all up in my head that I am always being the one in front or the one leading songs. It's just a simple conversation that she should have had instead of just making a decision all on her own. I don't know if you're understanding. And then they would have found a way around it. Maybe, okay, this time around, let's try giving other people opportunities so that they can also grow their gift and they can also do better. Just in case something happens and I'm not around, let's know that, okay, if I'm not around, this thing can still move. You get? And another thing is, I think she should have communicated her feelings to God. And now, I don't know if she did that or not, but she didn't state it in the story. But I'm assuming she didn't. I am just of the opinion that she should have communicated her feelings with God. Sometimes it just feels like we see God as that unapproachable being. But I don't think that's how God wants to relate with us, right? So it's a very simple conversation. God, you gave me this talent, you gave me this gift, and I am beyond grateful and honored that I was able to identify it. I was able to make use of it, groom it. Like, I was able to make do with it really well, that it's giving this result. But honestly, this is how I feel. I feel tired. I feel like I'm always in front. I don't want to take this for granted, but this is just my feelings. Can you help me with my feelings? Can you help me? And I strongly believe that God would have helped her in one way or the other, either by giving her strength, just encouraging her that, okay, this is your season, this is the time you're in, you won't always have this moment, so now that you're in it, just make the most of it. He could have encouraged her, given her strength and grace to understand the season she's in and just to make the most of it. Or he could have even spoken to the choir master or someone else and be like, okay, let's bring someone in and just give this young lady some space so that she can just not feel overwhelmed by the whole thing. That's just my opinion. I think communicating her feelings would have gone a long way in just averting what happened. Communicating her feelings to God and seeking for strength and grace and just a way out, just an idea, help. I think that's what God is also there for. It's help in time of need, any type of help at all. So I think she could have asked for help from God. And I think this is a call that we don't always, it's good when we identify someone is gifted and someone has an ability, but I also think we should also be thoughtful about them as an individual that they are. They might get overwhelmed, pride might set in, ego might just, like, all of these things are possible. So we should find ways to, okay, it's either you give them space or you introduce other people, just to not overwhelm them with these responsibilities and get them to begin feeling some type of way, like they are most important, without them nothing can happen and all of that. So this is just what I honestly feel about this. And then lastly, Yes, God is able to raise people up to do his work. The sooner we know that, the better and easier it is for us. Just know that God can raise anybody literally from anywhere to do his work. So if you identify one thing that you are able to do and you know that, okay, I can serve God in this area, or my suggestion and my advice is that you make the most of it, right? You just do it. It's an honor. It's not everybody that can do it. I'm sure you know. It's not everybody that can hold a mic and stand in front of people and sing. Some of us, our voices will shake. It's not easy that you can stand in front of 10 people and speak and they will listen to you. That's a gift. You know, sometimes we take some gifts for granted and we honor more other gifts more than others. But every gift is a gift, whichever one it is. Whether it puts you out there or it helps you serve better behind the scenes, it's a gift. So wherever you find yourself, just make the most of it, knowing that you won't always be there, and knowing that it's an opportunity. God can literally take it or give it to another person and you'll be replaced just like that. So thank you so much for sharing this story, and I hope that we actually really learned a lot from this very story. I know I had so much to say, but next story, guys. It was on a fateful evening. As a student, I was doing what was expected of me, which is studying my book in one of the classes that is termed for the serious-minded ones, MC13. And on that fateful day, the reading was just entering, and man, I was just catching cruise. Then this my lady friend just called and asked me where I was and what I'm doing. I told her and what I'm doing also. She now said I should join them to eat at Pepsi Garden. Now, Pepsi is an open garden where students eat. For every ABU student, Pepsi is just an open garden, like he said, where you just go and eat. So out of excitement, I closed my books, checked myself, and man, I was looking good that day. I rated myself 10 over 10. I met them at the entrance and we went in and sat. So we got talking and we were all enjoying the conversation. Then my friend whom invited me asked me, "Are we not eating?" I said, if you want to, why not? They now asked me what I would like to have. I asked for rice and they too requested for same. After we were done eating, she now asked for the bill and they told her. That's where the drama started. She asked me for the cash and I was like, She said I promised to take her out sometimes and today is the day she chose. That's why she called me. I was like, you should have told me that you want me to buy food for you, not to take me unaware like this. Her friend whom was crushing on me was disappointed in me. I can see how her crush for me was dying gradually and how the disappointment was setting in. After a while, her friend paid the bill and she said I should pay her back the following day, to which I agreed. Of course, you know I won't pay as a normal guy. The following day, I was at home when they came and asked for the money. Though we both were laughing about the incident and how, assuming her friend did not carry cash, what would have happened. But ever since that day, if I call them that I want to take them out, they won't agree till we left school. We still talk, but that day is a day I can't forget in my life. Lessons: before going out with anyone, know who is paying and the integrity of that person. Secondly, always have a backup plan just in case. My goodness, now I literally don't know. I don't know where we get liver. Honestly, I need liver to be able to do some things. Like, I need liver. You know liver now. I need the guts to be able to do certain things. How can you just call someone out of the blue and just, I don't even want to say the request for a date. You literally planned the date, but you had the intention that the person would pay, and you people did not. I don't know why we don't communicate very well in this country. As humans in general, I don't even know why we don't communicate very well, because this is simple lack of communication. A was assuming B was taking care of things. B was assuming A will take care of things. I know ladies, we like to feel that entitlement. Like, do I have to tell you that if we go out, you are the guy, you should take responsibility, you should take charge and pay? Like, sometimes we feel that. But I also am of the opinion that it's good to have these things stated out clearly, just to be on the safe side. just to be on the safe side, let's just have it stated out clearly. Are you taking me out? Am I taking you out? Are we taking each other out? Are we splitting the bills? Are you paying? Am I paying? Like, let's just know. Because me, I don't like embarrassment. I cannot endure some type of embarrassment. I cannot. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened if her friend didn't have money. I don't want to imagine what would have happened. Then he most likely would have called someone to borrow money or so. Of course, he would have had to pay. But ladies, I think we can do a lot better, right? I think we can do a lot better. And let's not always expect guys to take care of bills. You can take your guy friends out and you can take care of the bills. Really. Just make sure you're cutting your coat according to your size. You get? If it is kos and dos, if it's akara, kose that you can afford, you can take them out, buy that and pay. If it is Pepsi Garden, you can afford. If it is Chicken Republic, you can afford. Whatever it is that you can afford. I think it's nice that you just make it clear. Just be sure of what you can handle. Another thing I am assuming here is, I think the person that does the asking should take care of the bill. Like, if I am asking you out as a friend, not even a date, so if I'm like, let's hang out now, you assume I'm going to take care of the bill. Why will I invite you to hang out and expect you to take care of the bill? Did I give you money? Did I save money with you? Did I send money to you? Like, why? So I'm of the opinion that if he is asking you out, he's taking care of the bill. If she is asking you out, she's taking care of the bill. At the place, you can decide to be a gentleman and refuse her paying and decide to pay. That can work. But I think that should be your decision, not we superimposing certain responsibilities on you because you are a man. A man that is not your husband. You don't have a right to just impose certain responsibilities on them, okay? And always have a backup plan. That is important in anything, not just food, not just money. Always have a backup plan. Sometimes it feels like having a backup plan means you are expecting or anticipating something will happen to plan A. But I think having a backup plan means you are ready for this thing to work any which way. You know, plan A doesn't have to spoil for you to now start thinking of plan B. No, it's important that you always have a backup plan. Be it money, be it in your business, be it at work, be it with your outfit, you're going out, you have a wedding or you have an event. Always have a plan B. Always have a plan B. You know, I remember one time I was going to go for this dinner. Yes, I remember my friend invited me for this dinner and I was set and ready to go. I just had to iron my dress and it got burnt. Like, it got burnt in a place where it was obvious. There's nothing I could do about it. But thankfully, I was trying to shuffle between two options. So when that one got burnt, I didn't even think twice. I just pushed it away and ironed the second dress very carefully and I wore it. So plan B is always very important, whatever area of our lives. Okay? Thank you so much for sharing. A guy, no, they fall my hands. Oh. You say always this set. You understand? Just always try to avoid putting yourself in positions that may be embarrassing. You get? Like, always anticipate. Just imagine what's the worst that could happen and then find a solution for it and have it ready. Imagine what's the best that can happen and then be ready for it. It's just always be prepared. Thank you for sharing once again. Last story. I was a bit unsure about sharing anything because I'm not sure I have any story worth sharing. But you said any experience at all, so I thought, why not? Besides, I can't keep learning from other people's story and not want to share mine. Thank you. That's a very thoughtful way to start this story. Every story is welcome. Every story. I'm someone that does whatever she wants to, not necessarily bad things, but if I wanted something, I'll just go for it without thinking twice and find a way to get it. And yes, that meant I had to do certain things I shouldn't have, especially financially. I found myself in a lot of debt and asking random people for money just to meet my needs. As time went by, I got intentional about my life as a believer, and I realized I could ask God for help and He will provide what I needed. So for a couple of weeks, I stopped asking and taking more debt. I'll just pray and wait for God to do it. I'll sit at home waiting for my phone to ring or for alert to enter. I don't even know from where. I lost a lot of opportunities and missed work a lot as a result. I started wondering what I was doing completely. After praying, reading a lot of stories in the Bible, and listening to messages, I changed my prayer and started asking God for what to do instead of just telling Him to do it or do something. I can't share all the experiences from then, but He always led me to make a random call or just step outside, and He takes it from there. I don't know why, but in an attempt to stop doing things my way, I stopped doing things completely and was waiting for God to do them. I now understand that trusting God doesn't mean folding my hands and doing nothing, but keying into everything He has already made available, whether resources or people, and taking the first step in faith. Wow, I never get tired of the type of stories we share. You will just never imagine the stories that will come in. Now, I can totally relate to this story. The fact that we don't always know how to apply certain things, certain principles, or certain teachings that we hear. In her case, she really did want to trust God. She even literally trusted God enough to stop doing things her way, to stop doing things her way, but it was like she didn't know what to do in turn, right? But I like the lessons she said she learned from this experience. The fact that trusting God doesn't mean folding our hands. I know a lot of us find ourselves in that situation. Like, legit you want to trust God in this thing. You know that legit you don't want to keep doing it the way you've been doing it. But then, how do you do it next? Okay, I know I don't want to keep stealing to meet my needs. Okay, so how do I generate funds? So sometimes we feel like the fact that I trust God, God should come through for me. And yes, God will come through for you. But we have our role to play. God has His role to play. We have our role to play. God has His role to play. I saw a video the other day of Pastor Mike, and he was trying to explain the fact that if you're standing still, getting to push you to start moving might be a bit difficult and harder than when you start moving 1 step, 2 step, getting to push you from that, you just move. You get? I don't know if I can find the video and just attach it, just so you can get what I'm trying to explain. But it's easier if we take the first step. That's actually faith. It's literally taking the first step. So I think instead of just waiting for God works mysteriously. I'm sure if God wants to send her a miracle alert, He will send her a miracle alert, and nobody can question Him. God works mysteriously and we can't question Him. But I also feel that He wants us to be responsible as well. He has given us so much. He has made so much available for us. We're not babies. He doesn't have to keep spoon feeding us. There are times where we have to get up and carry the spoon to eat. He'll provide the food, but you have to take the spoon to eat. So we must just learn to, I think the thing here to do is to always seek God's will. Just seek for God's direction. Okay, this is where I'm in. What should I do next? Instead of just saying, God, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. God may have done it for you, but you need to stand up to get it. You can say, I'm hungry, and there's food in the kitchen. If you don't stand up and go to the kitchen, you will sit down there hungry. Nobody will come and save you and bring it for you. So a lot of times God has done it. That thing that we keep praying, God, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. God has done it. Wow. God has done it, but we need to get up and take it. Get up and collect it. Get up and receive it. So that's usually the point where we get stuck. we're waiting for God to do it and then bring it all the way to us, and still, you know, all this pampering, we want it too much. But I think God also expects a lot more from us. So thank you so much for sharing this story. I learned to take on my own responsibility and not just expect God to do everything for me. He has done everything for me, but He also has things for me to do, you know. Guys, faith is not just praying, faith is not just believing, faith is you taking action. Now that's faith, you actually taking action and doing it. God will just release the speed from there and take over. So I just hope that these 3 stories blessed you greatly today, and I hope it inspires and just helps you live life better, make the most of your time here on earth, and just be the amazing person that you are meant to be. Thank you so much to all the people that have been sharing their stories with us. Please, let's keep the stories coming in, and I'll be right here to read them all out to us and pick out the lessons for us. I'll see you guys next video, and have an amazing week.